The sky is falling, the world is big and round, and it's going to blow up, and that's all there is to it. And the only thing that can save us is the new fear-mongering of the Democrats trying to get our attention. And they've added to the equation Alexandria Occasional Cortex.
We're here, and what we have to do to avoid the most catastrophic effects of climate change is to cut emissions in half in 12 years. 12 years. That's the project we've been tasked with by the Earth that we inhabit.
Who made that shit up?
We're going to have the White Mountains with no snow. We're going to have the oceans are going to rise. We're going to have all our seacoasts rearranged when that polar ice cap melts if nobody does anything about this.
We're going to contribute to people dying. We're going to contribute to trillions of dollars of damage of property. And we will change the face of life on this planet.
Oh, no.
Again, there's not much debate around this. Another degree Celsius, and some scientists say another half a degree Celsius, and the scientific term is we are screwed.
What could have...
Oh no. The sky's falling.
amount to genocide if we allow things to go as they are. The reports aren't just, hey, it's going to get bad. The reports are people will die. Millions and millions and millions of people will die.
If you care about gender equality, some of the most recent studies, including Paul Hawkins in the Drawdown, was talking about how one of the best ways to address our climate crisis was to educate women and advocate for their reproductive rights. That's a direct line of intersection between these two movements, because climate change is that thing, is that umbrella crisis, that it is more than what we have ever successfully communicated it.
The truth about the climate crisis is still inconvenient. The water cycle is disrupted, so we get these rain bombs. The ice starts melting faster.
Rain bomb is what they're calling it.
Yeah, that's what some scientists are calling them now. Yep.
Rain bombs. That's what they're calling them now. Rain bombs. The global warming is
There will be people who can no longer live in the cities that they call home today. There is food grown in this country that will no longer prosper in these soils.
Oh God.
There's going to be massive migration of tens or hundreds of millions of people from countries that are literally uninhabitable or underwater, that are above the sea right now. We face catastrophe and crisis on this planet, even if we were to stop emitting carbon today, right now, at this moment.
Okay, we're all screwed, so we might as well just eat a hamburger. And, hey, this is all caused by cow farts, so if we could kill some of those cows and eat them, I think that's going to help out a lot. So everybody needs to eat a bunch of these cows so they'll quit cow farting, because, like if you get too much fart, you can light a fart. So the world is big and round, and there's cow farts, and it's going to blow up, and that's all there is to it.
Consequences that scientists are predicting. How did you find the moral courage to rise up and solve this? We need to hear this as a wake-up call. We need to defend ourselves. So also, climate refugees are beginning to create the instability in parts of Europe, and this is just the beginning.
Our planet is...
I'm so glad he didn't get to be our president. Now we have Alexandria Occasional Cortex.
It's going to fit disaster if we don't turn the ship around. And so it's basically like there's scientific consensus that the lives of children are going to be very difficult.
Kids.
And it does lead, I think, young people to have a legitimate question. Is it okay to still have children?
It's because of climate.
Oh no, now is it okay to even have children? Fear-mongering. It's terrible. The bartender speaks. The world is big and round, and it's going to blow up, and all there is to it. Or the sky's falling. But it's not that we didn't notice this a long time ago, and we weren't already all on top of it with about as much as we're going to put into it. What we really need to worry about is actually the next ice age. Let me show you something. So here's your ice age graphs going across here. This is like our last maximum temperatures and then ice ages, and maximum temperatures and ice ages. And you can see it's kind of gone through these cycles. I really think it has to do with us running through a bunch of asteroids and it pelting us and screwing us up, and it's been doing it for millions of years. So we look at this one right here, we're looking at 150,000 years ago, we hit where we are now. And you can see where this line is drawn, and that line is drawn right there for a reason. Let me get in there on this one. I know it gets more fuzzy, but so this line here is drawn for a reason. It's because of where we are now. Now, if we just pay attention here and look, what we notice is that 120,000 years ago, it was a lot hotter than it is now, and we weren't even cow farting. And then you notice that there's a spike that goes above it here, and we're not even doing that spike here. Sabadat. In fact, every time it does a spike and a down and a spike and a down, and it looks like this time we didn't even have a big heartbeat, did we? Here's what I want you to notice. The gap between here and here. This one's a little odd, but the gap between here and here, the gap between here and here. If you look at the gap we have between here and here, we're just about ready for it to go durr and just fall down again and start doing the same thing. And if you look, whenever it goes down, it goes durr, right? Straight down after that amount of time. Well, we've gone through just about that amount of time, and it's not going boom, it's going durr. Well, where's our ice volume at? Well, here's the ice volume, and it got a, da-da-da-da-da-da. So it looks like we're on par. We're not doing anything worse than ever. The sky isn't falling or anything. We've got a lot more data points in here and here than we do in here and here, of course, but that's just natural. This is not unique. Look at this people's data on the same thing. Heartbeat, heartbeat, heartbeat. Oopsie, here we go, and it's fixing to be another heartbeat. Heartbeat, 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 heartbeat. Mwah. Wow, it got so much warmer here. Warmer even here than it is here. Warmer here than it is here. Huh, so we must have gone through this before. I know people are living on the coast, but somebody figured out if we melt every bit of ice that's left, which is a far-fetched theory, they're trying to tell you happens within 12 years, that our oceans will go up 14 inches. So it doesn't even equal to a high tide, low tide currently or anything? It's not, the sky's not falling? No, in fact, it's fixing to go into an ice age, and we better kind of prepare for that. Also, we need to prepare for the idea we may be running through a bunch of asteroids, and we're going to sit and stare down stupid shit and watch it go bam and just hit us and take us out like the dinosaurs and reset everything again. Looks like it did it about 10,500, 10,800 years ago with a cometary fragment hitting us at the end of the last ice age and causing the Younger Dryas. And here we go, derpy dur. Let's go back to derpy dur. Mon petit derpy dur.
Climate change that's largely man-made. Our burning of fossil fuels is damaging planet Earth, and the time to stop it is running out. By the end of the century, climate change could shrink the U.S. economy by hundreds of billions of dollars.
People are...
Now they're just claiming extreme loss somehow out of it. Okay, and you can project those numbers too, I'm sure. You can project a bunch of numbers doing a test and a study, especially if you're trying to look for a certain set of numbers. Oh my God, it's the occasional cortex again.
dying. They are dying. And the response across the other side of the aisle is to introduce an amendment 5 minutes before a hearing and a markup. This is serious. This should not be a partisan issue. This is about our constituents and all of our lives. Iowa, Nebraska, broad swaths of the Midwest are drowning right now, underwater. Farms, towns that will never be recovered and never come back. This is about our lives. This is about American lives. And it should not be partisan. Science should not be partisan.
Science isn't partisan. It actually just says that you're a liar. And yeah, we had a couple of floods here recently because of lack of rain, and then all of a sudden a heat of rain. But are we going through a drought? Are we going through a hard rain? Are we fixing to have a rain bomb? Is that it? Did we ever have rain bombs before? What's going on here? I mean, yeah, we're worried about, you know, catastrophes and things happening, but let's not just be a fear-mongering idiot.
We are facing a national crisis. I don't know what we're here doing. I don't know what we're here doing.
There is an
No, she doesn't know what we're here doing, and I think the national crisis we're facing is because these are the people trying to lead our country now. It's amazing what these Democrats and the lengths they're going to. Now they're talking about trying to bring back up reparations. They're talking about trying to bring up all these things and free shit for everybody and try to turn us into a communist nation if you'll just vote Democratic, please. It's disgusting. Check this out.
Urgency felt like never before in a rising generation of Americans and across the world who realize that the clock is ticking.